What up, y'all? Forward Fabian in the building, man. We're doing a reaction to Jeffrey Epstein list, unsealed documents in Ghislaine Maxwell lawsuit released, man. So if you don't know nothing about Jeffrey Epstein, right? American financier and sex offender, born and raised in NYC. So died by suicide, self-hanging at the age of 66. So at a certain point in time, a lot of stuff came out the woodwork about Jeffrey Epstein. Had like this island supposedly to where he would do a lot of stuff, right? Him and his colleagues of, I don't know whether it was work colleagues or people in the circles. A lot of these rich people, the circles they move in are very, very weird. The things that people with a lot of money do with their money or do behind closed doors, you probably wouldn't want to know about. But yeah, so essentially, I guess these were classified documents, and they're being released. So I'm sure it's probably detailing some names. And I'm not really positive about everyone that came out the woodwork to try to expose him. I know that it was a few people, several people, and that's usually how it even starts before they're able to really nail somebody or pin them down on certain accusations, right? But yeah, let's just see what Fox got to say about this, man.
What we've been waiting for, really, for the past now 2 days, the court finally unsealing several high-profile names of those in Jeffrey Epstein's orbit, and that was due to this lawsuit that was filed over the Ghislaine Maxwell case. I want to put some video up of Epstein there. We now know that nearly 200 names that had previously been redacted from court documents in a lawsuit against Jeffrey Epstein's former lover and accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, have been made public on orders of this federal judge
Ghislaine
there
Maxwell
in New York. And this is what we know. Some of those names, big names on the list, they include former President Bill Clinton, Epstein's estranged longtime aide, Doug Band, Prince Andrew, member of the royal family, of course, brother to King Charles, and the French modeling agent, Jean-Luc Brunel, who, like Epstein, died while awaiting trial. So in the meantime,
Well, Epstein killed himself. He didn't die while waiting trial, bro. He did, but he took himself out. So these are the names I guess supposedly people are assuming are the associates. Wow. With these names being exposed, you can only imagine kind of what direction law enforcement will take. I'm sure a lot of these folks will be looked into.
I want to bring into the conversation now more experts to kind of help us analyze all of this. What does this mean for the Jeffrey Epstein story and saga? Moving forward, of course, Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide in a jail cell in 2019 at the Manhattan Correctional Center. Ghislaine Maxwell is serving a 20-year prison sentence. And some of Epstein's victims have gotten settlements from banks like J.P. Morgan Chase and also Deutsche Bank over their ties to Epstein's. And they were, of course, the banks that he did his finances from. Let's bring into the conversation right now senior legal analyst with The Messenger, Adam Klasfeld. He knows so much about this story. He joins me. Adam, thanks for being with us here. So the delays are over. We have some names. I have this now almost 100-page kind of exhibit here. This is just one exhibit with some of these names here. Have you poured over any of this here? Did anything surprise you, if you have?
So just to give your viewers a little bit of background, these files were just released shortly before our interview. I think they broke at around the 7 o'clock hour. Some of my colleagues at The Messenger have been poring over them. One of the revelations that came about, there was a deposition by one of Epstein's victims, Johannes Jorsberg. And one of his alleged victims, Ms. Schmorsberg, had said in a deposition that Jeffrey Epstein allegedly told her that former President Clinton liked them young. That was one of the quotes that some of my colleagues found at The Messenger. In the same deposition file, there was a reference to former President Trump. It said that she was not asked to give him a massage. There have been other references in different documents to Prince Andrew.
Bro, is Trump really a surprise, though? I mean, come on, bruh. Mr. Grab him by the pussy, excuse my language, buddy did that, what, on national television types? That wouldn't be a huge surprise. You know what I'm saying? Clinton, I guess anybody who's been involved in a scandal wouldn't be a surprising type of thing, right? But if you know how many total victims there were, there are probably some that have gone unnamed or uncounted for. But comment down below if you know the rough estimate that was revealed during the time of, looking into the details of this case.
Andrew, who your viewers may remember, that Virginia Giuffre, who's the woman who filed the lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell that set all of this into motion, had also filed a lawsuit against Prince Andrew. Now, her allegations go into a little bit more detail in the unsealed filings. She says in one of the filings, she alleges that she was forced into an orgy with the prince. So we are, as you noted, this is a large stack of files. Journalists are certainly going to be poring over it to see how many of these allegations are new, how many of these allegations are rehashed. These documents have been around under seal in a court record for quite a long time. And it also must be emphasized that they include people who aren't necessarily accused of wrongdoing. A lot of the allegations, and these are not, it's been sometimes described as a client list. It is not. It's a list of people who are tied in some way, whether
that's what I was
they
getting at.
Met one of Epstein's victims, whether they are an alleged victim themselves.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's a mixture of both. Well, at first, I thought it was alluding to like the names and totality of every victim, but it sounds like it's a mixture of the victims and people who could have come encounter with these victims, and then people that were possibly looking to include themselves in this type of ring, so to speak, man.
It's a long list of people whose identities have been under seal for various reasons, and some of whom we've heard about from media reporting. Some of them we may be hearing about the first time, and it's going to take some time to process and digest these documents.
Yeah, just for our viewers who are joining us right now, we have an 89-page exhibit that was just released. This is the first batch in the Epstein documents that were just released before Adam came on to talk with us here. Adam, that's kind of seemed to be the theme going into the first release here, that we weren't going to really learn anything new, that we might get more, of the color and tawdry details of some of the interactions of some of these high-profile individuals in Epstein's orbit, like, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, what have you here. But a lot of people possibly were expecting some new names, and we had brought on some guests who were somewhat describing it as a client list. And to your point, this is a list of people who worked for Epstein, who had business with Epstein, who maybe was at a party once with Epstein, as innocuous as that. So it really kind of runs the gamut here, does it not? I mean, as far as ramifications go, once we get all of these documents unsealed, we pour over them, do you anticipate more legal recriminations happening in the Epstein saga?
Get to the nitty-gritty.
More lawsuits filed by victims, more people speaking out?
Of course.
It's hard to say, but it's useful to have a historical perspective on that point. Now, the reason that these documents are coming out is part of the same litigation that set all of this in motion. It was the lawsuit filed by Virginia Giuffre, now Virginia Roberts, against Ghislaine Maxwell. And it probably could be argued that Ghislaine Maxwell would not have been prosecuted if not for this lawsuit. And more importantly, the open records battle that followed this lawsuit, because all of these documents have been kept under seal under the terms of a settlement. It took an unsealing fight brought forward by the Miami Herald and its reporter, Julie K. Brown, who brought this to court as an open records battle and won up to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, starting a string of releases. And the first batch of releases brought enough pressure that provoked, that started the first prosecution of Jeffrey Epstein, and after his suicide, the prosecution of Ghislaine Maxwell and her ultimate conviction.
Right.
There have been other litigation since then. There has been litigation looking at the financing of Jeffrey Epstein against banks involved in that, where he has been a client, and the bankers that he has engaged with. And through that litigation, we learn new people who may be connected to him, and we learn new information, new allegations, and there's, I won't make predictions, but in the release of information, it enhances our understanding, and historically, I'll say, it has led in the past to more litigation, more public understanding, and more information.
I mean, bruh, come on, bro. People want to know whether other people are going to get caught up in this. You know what I'm saying? Are they going to do time? So with that being said, man, what's up with the Steins or the Steins, whatever you want to pronounce it, always being weirdos? You had Harvey Weinstein. You got Jeffrey Epstein. So if you got a Stein or a Stein in your name, beware. So names that were previously sealed in a lawsuit against Epstein's former lover and accomplice, Ghislaine, made public. So after looking through some of his story, right, I didn't know that, when he was locked up, when he was taken into custody, obviously, he was actually on suicide watch at a certain point in time. Like, he tried to kill himself, I believe, one time, to where they were suspicious because they noticed like he had marks around his neck or something like that. They thought he got into it with his cellmate. Cellmate denied having anything to do with it. So they put him on suicide watch. Supposedly they was watching him like every 30 minutes, but I guess one of these days he ended up, slipping through the cracks and just doing it to where nobody was around her, nobody was able to come to his aid. So I don't know, man. I think that's a tough pill to swallow for him. For those who go through situations like this, right? You've been doing like wrong your whole life. Essentially, you've been pretty much demeaning, abusing, whatever specific terms you want to use, these people, these individuals, thinking that you're going to get away with it your whole life. You end up getting caught. You face X amount of years in prison, potential, life, whatso have it. And then at that point in time, you fold. You can't even think or sustain about spending your life behind that wall. So you think death is a better choice or option. So I don't know, man. There you have it. Let me know, comment down below additional names y'all think might pop up on this list. What damage y'all think, this list will do now that's revealed or been made public. So peace, love, prosperity, man. God bless. We'll catch y'all in the next video. We out.